live on Styles FM. Call me on 804-7072. WhatsApp 804-7072. Let's make this a night to remember.
Styles FM, hottest radio station.
Styles FM.
The world listens.
They can't keep a good man down. Always keep a smile when they want me to frown. Keep the vibes and I stood my ground. They will never ever take my crown. Oh, Jabez, I say no man goes. Things getting better when they thought it would be worse. Here comes the officers asking for a search. They found no weapon, just only a draw first. But I'm so solid as a rock, they just can't stop me now. Even when they set their traps, they just can't stop me now. People will say this and that, they just can't stop me now. Even when they set up roadblocks, they just can't stop me now. When they come with their evil assault, I just listen whenever they talk. I used to light into my dog. He cut and clear all my fault. They fight me without a cause, trying to make my life so hard. The king of kings and the lord of lords, give it all reward. I'm so solid as a rock, they just can't stop me now. Even when they set their traps, they just can't stop me now. People will say this and that, they just can't stop me now. Even when they set up roadblocks, they just can't stop me now.
Wake up, everybody, no more sleeping in bed. No more backward thinking, time for thinking ahead. The world has changed so very much from what it used to be. There's so much hatred, war and poverty. Wake up all the teachers, time to teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen to what you have to say. They're the ones who's coming up, and the world is in their hands. When you teach the children, teach them the very best you can. World won't get no better if we just let it be. Na, 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 na. The world won't get no better. We gotta change it now, just you and me. Wake up all the doctors, make the old people well. They're the ones who suffer and who catch all the hair. But they don't have so very long before their judgment day. So won't you make them happy before they pass away? Wake up all the builders, time to build a new land. I know
Remittance cut down, which is our big.
The only thing we have to do is put it in our mind.
Harold Melvin on the Blue Notes.
Things will work out.
Thank you, Father Jacko. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show. We do it on Styles FM every Tuesday night. Caribbean Radio HD. Good evening to you, people in the Tri-States, people in Florida. Good evening and welcome. Jamaica, St. Thomas, Portland, St. Mary, St. Anne. Welcome. My name is Colin Bell. We're live on Styles FM 96.1, 96.5, 96.7. Those are all on your FM band. We're live on Portland Spice TV. We're live on Facebook at Grandi Nanny. Yeah, man. Grandi Nanny at Facebook. We change the page, you know, and we invite you to invite somebody to forward. Yeah, man. We invite you to share the link with your contacts. And remember, click on the notification bell when you share, when you subscribe. We are on our way to 3,000 subscribers. So we invite all our listeners to pass through the YouTube channel, Portland Spice TV, and subscribe to the channel. Yeah, man, welcome each and every one. We have a question. Hold on. Because I need to find something before we go anywhere else. Because a thing go down. Recently. And I'm not going to say much about it. But it rests on my heart. So I have to make a mention of it. But good night, Father Jacob. Big up yourself. Bad manners, eh? Yeah. I have to make a mention. But I'd really love to play something from it first. Before we get into it. Because government badness in Jamaica is real. Government badness in Jamaica is real. Now, seriously, I want to remind each and every one of you that this is a paid broadcast. And the views expressed on this show are not necessarily those of native broadcasting. The views we express are our views and views of our callers and our supporters and contributors. So, we also seek your support for those of you who would love to support the channel. Oh, no, I'm going to play this, no? Those of you who would love to support the channel, we do seek your support and we thank you for supporting. We have a GoFundMe page. It is called East Portland Rescue Mission. And we're still on the mission to rescue East Portland and to hurry up and bring proper representation. Sunday night was a big night, massive, in Port Antonio Town Square. I never prepared the clip, so I'm not going to be able to play the clip for you right now. But I'll tell you that before the night is out, I will play the clip for you. What we are going to be doing this evening is going to be a rebroadcast of that massive show, our biggest show yet. Show that gave us the largest views since we've been on live on YouTube. Saturday morning, we had the president of the People's National Party and the leader of opposition. And we had him on for about an hour and 15 minutes. Or maybe a little more than that, eh? Really a long time. Good night, Shaka. All know me can't stop talk about last Sunday. Yeah, man. Sunday night was a blast, Celine. It was a blast. So, we want to allow the people in Radioland who did not get a chance to hear the interview. It is still on YouTube, on Portland Spice TV, but the people on Styles FM and on Caribbean Radio HD did not get a chance to hear. We might not play the entire interview, but we are going to play some of it that our listeners on those other platforms can get a piece of what you had on Saturday. But before I go into it, I want to announce that next week, Tuesday night, we have confirmed the guests. We didn't invite our guests for tonight because we want to do a rebroadcast of Saturday morning show. But next week, Tuesday is going to be the 19th. It is going to be a massive show. Massive. We have a guest that will be coming on next week, Tuesday night, that have some things to share that will lick out on a chair clean. Ralston Hyman was big. Dr. Omar Davies was big. Mark Jefferson Golding, gigantic. And you might think it can't get no bigger. But believe me, next week, Tuesday night, and we were deliberate because, you know, some of the guests have issues when you call them and the timing and all of that, you know. And it's good that we have two shows where we can, if we can get you up on a Saturday morning and we get you up on a Tuesday night, we work it just the same. Can't get you up on a Tuesday night and you can come on a Saturday morning. Yes. This person said them watch it from the start to finish and it was good. So, those of you who are on YouTube, you might see me slipping in and out, but we are going to go to that interview. We're going to go to Saturday morning. So, but before we go to Saturday morning, Vybz Kartel put out a video. And I wonder, teacher, these are different times. It's not just RGR and CVM and I already know. Hundreds, thousands of us as professional broadcasters, bloggers and influencers have platform out there. And when you went to prison, it was a different time from now. And I am just asking a simple question. After watching the video that Vybz Kartel put out that says he's an artist, we know that and we accept that. He said he's a businessman. We know that and we accept that. You say you're representing for Jamaica. You know that and we accept that. But where we find the thing dodgy now is when you start explaining from when you know Darrell Vaz and you know him wife, but she look like a nice lady and you big her up. I am not going into it because of my position and where I sit and the things that people might start think if I start talk. But the young question may I ask you, Cartel, did government badness reach you? Did government badness reach Vybz Kartel? Biggest source of foreign exchange remittance, tourism out of many. We're earning from tourism. But can I tell you something out of many? If you check the value of the tourism market on the global stage, Jamaica is earning less than 1% of that. We are earning little bit. So we have not been maximizing anything. We now roll it up. We are going to invite. Let me invite to the studios of Portland Spice TV my leader. Because we talk the truth, I'm not telling nobody about my balance. This is my leader and the opposition leader of Jamaica, President of the People's National Party. Good morning and welcome, Honorable Mark Jefferson Golden.
Morning, Sir Colin, comrade. And, I appreciate your openness and transparency on that issue. So people know where you stand. There's nothing wrong with that, as long as people know.
But that's the ethics of journalism, comrade leader.
Indeed. And unfortunately, it is not always practiced as it should.
Can I tell you? So much of them come and say them neutral, them the balance. I don't believe that we have no balanced Jamaican. Everybody have a side. PNP or GLP.
Well, I just want to say greetings to the Portland Spice Massive on this live. And, I'm sure we have people from both P and no P on, so enough respect to each and every one. And it's a pleasure to be here, Colin.
Welcome, comrade leader. A number of things I've always wanted to talk to you about. You came into the political scene, thrust into politics as a businessman. And when you became leader of the party, you were trailing miserably behind the bro god, the Honorable Prime Minister. And it was a case of an unknown in politics. Normally, our leaders come out of people who in the party long time, come up through the ranks. People don't know you, never knew of you.
True.
You are now leading in the polls, so a little more people know a little more about you. What it is that you'd want the people of Jamaica to know about Mark Golden enter into politics to serve this country?
Yeah, I think your analysis is accurate. I became leader in November 2020. And although I'd been in public life from 2007, when I was became an opposition senator, Portia Simpson Miller, Sister P, invited me to be one of the 8 opposition senators in 2007. The Senate is a relatively, low-profile political organ in the sense that it's more technocratic, it's more focused on the details of legislation and that kind of thing, which actually suited me well at the time because I'm a lawyer by profession, and I've always been interested in drafting and more on commercial transactions, but it was easy to shift my orientation to the kind of material that comes to Parliament. So I wasn't well known. I was treasurer of the party at one point. I was a spokesperson at one point. And then when we won the elections in 2011, December, I became Minister of Justice. And again, people who follow the politics would know who I was. But the average person out there who's just struggling to survive and doesn't think politics 24/7 probably didn't know, they may have heard the name, but wouldn't really know who I am. So I entered the House of Representatives in 2017 as the MP for South St. Andrew when Omar Davis retired. And I was persuaded really to put myself forward, which was a big move for me because, to be very honest, Colin, I had never seen myself as going the route of becoming a full-fledged politician, I came into this thing relatively late because in 2007, when I became a senator, as I said, I was in my 40s, and before that, my own involvement in politics was really as a supporter, of people who I knew well and who were in the politics. I would lend a hand. I was very interested in it, but I was not active. So when I took that step in 2017, it was a big move for me. And, I'm big up the people of South St. Andrew because they have blessed me with their support and love. And, I respect them to the max. It is the cradle of Jamaican popular music coming out of Trenchtown and its environs. And, I regard that foundation of my political movement then as a very important thing. So 2017, I became an MP again, just one of 63 in opposition, not in government at that time. So again, the political class would know, who I was, but the average person didn't. Mm-hmm.
You mean 2007?
2017 is when I became an MP,
2007.
I became a senator.
Oh, yeah. You were a senator before, right?
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
Right.
But
yes.
the Senate thing is a Friday morning, Friday meeting. It's just 21 people
right.
there. It is not it's not the cut and thrust in the same way as representational politics is.
Right.
So 2017 was a big step for me. And then after we contested the 2020 elections and we were badly beaten.
Yes.
Dr. Phillips said, well, he was stepping back. And so there was a vacancy. And my colleagues prevailed on me to put myself forward. So at that point, when I became leader of the party, and it was a contested internal election, which I was the person who was chosen. I came in as a relative unknown in terms of the national profile. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
So when I walk on the road, everybody would know who I was. You understand me? So I was aware of that. But who I am just a regular person, born and grew in Jamaica. I grew up
Ever dreamed of becoming the Prime Minister of Jamaica before you enter the politics?
Maybe as a teenager, I was interested in politics, and maybe, in the same way that I probably dream of playing cricket for the West Indies or playing football for Jamaica. Maybe I would have, in the political realm, that would have been a fantasy at times, but it was never a burning ambition, But it was something I probably had thought about, in one's wildest dreams, so to speak, And
then becoming member of parliament of your constituency, which is a PNP bastion, was pretty easy. Becoming the opposition leader now and challenging for government. Was that a rude awakening of the crassness of the politics at this stage now?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it is a totally different thing. Being the opposition leader or a party leader relative to being a member of parliament, it is a step. It's a large step up from where I was before, because you become the focus of attention, you become the focus of people's expectations and hopes, and you also become the focus of attack from your opponents. And in the era that we are in now, of pervasive social media and other communication channels, which are really unregulated and where people can say anything they like, informed or uninformed, malignant or honest, it lends itself to a kind of chaotic kind of discourse. So I have felt, I think, the brunt of that, and it was so I had to stand up, and I had to kind of firm up myself and go through. And part of what I've done in doing that is to go on the ground, travel the country, meet people, and just touch flesh, as it were, shake hand, hug up the ladies them, and make people kind of feel my vibes. And it has been a good experience. And as you can see from the polls that you referred to, it is bearing fruit. But your original question was, I think it was like, who am I?
Yes.
So I was saying I'm just a regular Jamaican person, born here, grew here.
Oh, you have to be regular. People say you're rich. People say the Prime Minister was making some statements after people getting wealthy. And there are views out there that he's talking about you.
Okay.
getting wealthy.
Okay, so I'm not gonna say I haven't been successful in my endeavors when I was in private life. You know, I have been successful. I wasn't born rich. My father was a university professor, and at a time when academics at the University of the West Indies weren't particularly well paid. You know, so although he himself had some resources, he didn't live that life. You know, he lived the life of a regular university professor type person. I grew up on the campus, you know, with the children of other academics, and then next door was Hermitage, which is a low-income community. Augustown below that, youth them from around those communities and us used to role play football and ride bicycle and, you know, climb tree and all of the things that children do. And then as a teenager now, kind of broke out little, start got dance and I love music. I'm quite a music.
I hear that they used to call you Radigan.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That was really my brethren at UWI campus now, because I used to flex on campus, even though I was not attending UWI at the time. But them you giving me that name, you know. So for a good while, that was what I was known as, you know, amongst those friends, you know. So yeah, I mean, so that is why I said I'm a regular person in the sense that how I live my life as a youngster coming up was, you know, I'm not saying I was in any way suffering, no. You know, I was privileged, yes, but I didn't really move with the privileged class of people. I've never moved with the privileged class of people. I've always moved with my peers on campus and youths from, I would say, from the ghetto, you know, who have, you know, that is how I've always lived my life. But then when I finished university now and started to work, because I was interested in finance and economics, although I was a lawyer, I found myself doing the type of work that generated, you know, a good amount of income for myself and my family at the time. And then, of course, we started DB&G, myself and two other friends, Peter Bunting and Chris Derry. And that was a successful business. It was an investment business, a finance services company. And, you know, it did very well. And eventually we sold it.
Hold on, you know. You're listening to the leader of opposition and the president of the People's National Party, Mark Jefferson Golden. We are up on our first break, and this rebroadcast is mainly for the people on Styles FM and Caribbean Radio. So we have to pause it, go to the break, and then when we come back, we continue some more of that exclusive interview. Well, we want to say good night and welcome to all the bloggers and vloggers who come onto this platform to get content. We have no problem with it. Share it all over the world. What we are here to do is to allow people to get the correct information and hear the truth, because our mantra is the truth. You're listening to the Colin Bell Show live on Styles FM, Caribbean HD, and on Portland Spice TV. We'll take the break. Soon come.
This is Styles FM.
Good day, driver. You notice that you're parking in a no parking zone. You know, so you can get a ticket for this, sir.
Really, officer? I just want to pick up some hardware supplies, you know. Do me a beg you. Give me a blind, you know.
So if you need hardware supplies, why you don't go to Ramtula Super Center and Hardware?
Ramtula Super Center and Hardware, 34 Folly Road, Port Antonio, Portland. We stock a wide range of products at the best prices in town. At Ramtula's Hardware, experience the 3 C's: comfort, competitive prices, and convenience. Ramtula Super Center and Hardware opens 8 a.m. to midnight, 7 days per week. Call 715-5132. Email ramtulasupercenter@gmail.com. Remember, we have the best prices in town.
Architects, draftsmen, and surveyors, get your drawings printed in high-quality professional standards. We can satisfy your printing needs. Whether it is for presentation to your clients or for submitting building and subdivision application, make it VJ Printing Services. Whether drawing by hand or with computer-aided softwares, we will plot your negatives and print the copies as you need. We do high-quality white paper printing that is water-resistant and never fades, unlike traditional blueprint. For more information, call VJ Printing at 893-2266.
Need your motor vehicle valuation, damage assessment and investigation, plus mechanical reports? Well, Orion Loss Adjusters is the place, with 12 offices island-wide and the Portland branch at 5 Smash Road, Port Antonio, beside the clinic. Orion Loss Adjusters. We are strong on service. Call 876-603-9300 or 876-310-5392. Visit www.orionlossadjusters.com. Orion. Oh, the right choice.
Business operators, local and overseas. This announcement is for you.
Styles FM is an internationally known radio network with worldwide listeners in over 120 countries.
From our studio in Port Antonio, Jamaica, to the ears of the people in your community, our listeners can be your new customers.
Styles FM is an economical, efficient, and effective advertising option for your business.
No matter the size of your business, there's always growth potential. Styles FM provides the customer reach needed to realize that upward movement.
So procrastinate no more. Advertising is a must.
For more details on how to advertise with Styles FM, visit www.stylesfm.com or email info@stylesfm.com or call us on 876-518-2399.
Styles FM, the world listens.
Wake up, everybody, no more sleeping in bed.
No more backward thinking.
Time for
You see, one of the things that we are making sure that we do is get the information to the people. Correct information. Truth. Thank you, Jaco. Truth is our mantra. And you're listening to an interview that we did Saturday morning, right here on Portland Spice TV, with the leader of opposition and president of the People's National Party, Mark Jefferson Golden, giving us personal stories, life story. It was one of those interviews. And yes, we did talk a little politics. But we're going to pick up right from where we talk about DB&G. Listen.
To Scotiabank in 2006. And that gave me some financial security at the time. All of that you mentioned, opposition leader, was in the public.
Yes. So the people of Jamaica know clearly how you make your money.
Yeah, man. My DB&G was a publicly listed company.
Yeah.
So all of its audited financials were published every year, you know, and it has the annual report. It had to file an annual report every year. Mm-hmm.
You and your brethren them set up a company.
Yes.
And it work.
Yes.
And it make money.
Yes.
And Scotiabank see it and like it.
Yes.
And buy it.
Yes.
And make a money.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in every newspaper. On every news. So
yeah. If you go on the internet now.
Like you see in Bolt.
Yeah.
We know how you make your money.
Yeah, man. That is exactly right. You know, and even if you go on the internet now and search that transaction, when it's still there, the material is still there, the offering document, the pricing of everything, how much everybody got is all there. So yeah, I mean, it's quite transparent and so on. So, you know, but what that sale and the financial security enabled me to do was to say, yo, all right, so I've had my working career now in the private sector, doing, you know, financial transactions as a lawyer for clients and also as a businessman in DB&G. And we had started Proven in 2010, which is still going.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because we had the expertise and we had built a reputation of excellence in the field, we saw an opportunity to establish another one. And 3 years after we sold DB&G to Scotia, we started Proven, which is really a regional company now. It invests across the region. It is in a number of territories in the Caribbean and even beyond. And, you know, although I'm not as involved in it as I was in DB&G, I am still, you know, part of the team that guides it along. So, and that has been a very successful business as well.
But that leads me right into this question, Comrade, and I still want to go back to where you were, but I have to ask you that question.
Sure.
When you become Prime Minister, how you going to deal with those issues?
Right. Well, when I became Minister of Justice, how I dealt with it at that time was I came off of the board that I was on and the committee that I served on. I just recused myself. I went on a leave of absence for the period of my engagement, So I would have to
actively running that.
No, I wasn't involved at all at that stage. For those 4 years, I just take with myself, so to speak. Because there are others there who are, who
and
can
when
manage
you become Prime Minister, you have to take with yourself from proven.
Yes, I will have to. And I've done it before and I will do it again. Whatever is required in order to satisfy the public that there is no reason why, of concern in that area, I will do. That is a gift.
Like how you and your brethren would set up DB&G and juggle and tree you to deal with them thing and make some money. You think a Prime Minister should be juggling like that while being Prime Minister?
No, I don't think so. Being Prime Minister is a full-time job and you must be focused on that. The only other issues you might have are family-related issues which you can never get away from.
Because as a family man,
as a family man.
Right.
Yeah, family is family. But when it comes to work as a Prime Minister, that must be your focus. That's not to say you can't have what I call passive investments. If you have saved money over time and you own some stocks or you own some whatever, that's fine. But to be actively involved in building a business and doing multiple transactions and running 28 bank accounts, not right. Something wrong.
And actively involved in buying stocks while being Prime Minister? You think a Prime Minister should have buy stocks at that time?
No, I don't. I don't think the Prime Minister should be active in the markets trading. No. If you have a portfolio, you either just leave it as it is, or if it's a personal portfolio, or you can put it into some kind of blind trust where it's managed by other people and they have full discretion over it and you have no say for the period of that while you're in public life. You can't be because every time you step into the marketplace as Prime Minister, there's a potential conflict of interest because you have agencies that ultimately report to you that will have an impact on the businesses that you're investing in or selling. So it is, and that's why this whole way in which this government operates is problematic because they engage in as if they're private citizens while they're running the country. And when I say private citizens, doing the things that people have no responsibility to the public are doing. And that is a problem.
All right, so let's go back to proven. I don't want to be all over the place, but
yes.
I want to hear about you before I go into the politics because we have to talk a little about the politics. But the things that people don't know about you, people are speculating and they are saying that Proven is not a Jamaican company. Talk to us about that.
As I said, Proven is a regional business. So it has some business in Jamaica that it does. It has a securities dealer, wealth management company here. It also has done some real estate development here. But it does it owns a manufacturing business in Barbados. It has a banking interest in Cayman and St. Lucia. It is a business that's both in the financial and real sectors. The main real sector activity that it does is, as I said, manufacturing, and it manufactures animal feed and cooking oil and those things in Barbados. It also does real estate development, not just in Jamaica, elsewhere, and it does financial services. That's what it does.
Where's your head office?
The head office is in St. Lucia. It was established from day one as a St. Lucia-based operation.
And you do other business in St. Lucia?
Yeah, we have a bank in St. Lucia as well. Yeah.
And listeners and viewers, remember, Mark Jefferson Golden is coming into politics as a businessman. The fact that you're not a career politician, does that affect your ability to lead the People's National Party?
I think it gives me a perspective which is valuable. You know, I'm somebody who knows what it takes to be successful in business and how to run a successful business. And I've had a lot of experience in managing businesses through all type of crises, from the 90s when there was a financial sector meltdown through the 2008 global financial crisis and many things in between. So I'm not a career politician. I'm primarily a lawyer. That is my core competence. I'm a commercial and corporate lawyer, but I have a long standing exposure and understanding of finance because of the type of work I've done. And I think that's an asset. That will be an asset to Jamaica. I think it's an asset to the PNP because it's part of what I have brought to the table is, managing the party in the way we manage it now, which is, as you've seen, bearing fruit. So, it is, to my mind, the country needs people who have experience and expertise to run it. Why do you think Mr. Holness draw for Nigel Clark? Because he knew that, that was a big gap in his team that he needed to try and fill. And of course, that gap was opened again when Nigel decided to cut. But
so you're saying it has not been filled now?
Well, no, they have attempted to fill it now. And the person who's filled it, Favor, is competent in the field of finance. She's a very well qualified person in that era. But of course, as a politician and as Minister of Finance, it's less about technical skill, and more about communications and interpersonal skills. Now, the jury is out on whether she has that. I don't think she has that personally, having seen how she operates. Whereas I think Mr. Clark, Dr. Clark, was a skilled propagandist in his own right, and brought that to the table in carrying the message for his party quite effectively.
Let's talk a little bit about finance, comrade leader, and where Jamaica is right now in managing the finances of this country. I want to start at 2011, where the PNP came back in office after the GLP had crashed the economy. This is a area, this is a period of time that has not been discussed. And some of us in the media are also saying that the PNP may be at fault by not bringing forward that period of time when the government speaks of what they have done with the economy. Because coming out of 2007 to 2011, we saw where the multilaterals had kicked us out of the market. The IMF would not talk to Jamaica. We couldn't get a loan. We are aware of the struggles that Dr. Peter Phillips and the most honorable Portia Simpson Miller went through. But a lot of people keep forgetting that you were an integral part of the team. Tell us about what happened and how we brought back the Jamaican economy.
Thank you for that. All right. So I think the context is very important. Bear in mind that during the period from 1989 to 2007, when the People's National Party was in government, first with Michael Manley for his second stint as Prime Minister, not his second term, because he had 2 terms in the 70s, but the second era as Prime Minister, and then PJ Patterson after that, and then briefly Portia Simpson Miller at the end. During that period, which the GLP have done their best to style in a particular way, the country really changed significantly. So the economy that we have now, which is what we call an open economy, where with our foreign exchange controls, anybody can save in US, keep them US. If they want to travel, them can go out, send money, go abroad or receive it, is the PNP do that. We used to have licensing for everything in this country. If you want to import anything, you have to go to the trade board and apply for a license. Exporting, you need an export license. We deregulated much of that. So we created an environment where business could flourish, because it was at that time understood that the private sector and private initiative has to be the engine of growth. But there's a role for government, both as a regulator to make sure that the bad business practices are dealt with by the state, and also what I call a catalytic role. In other words, stepping in where opportunities exist, but the private sector will not go there because it's too challenging for them to sort of create an environment, put in the necessary investment, maybe in infrastructure, for example, that will enable private capital to come in and build on that. So that 18 years was really created the type of economy that Jamaica has. And it was successful. If you check it out, by 2007, poverty was single digit in Jamaica. When Michael Manley took office in 1989, poverty was high. I don't remember the specific number, but it was over 20%. By the end of the 18 years, it was, I think, 9% and heading down.
2007,
The unemployment was single digit as well.
Yes.
The country had built up some decent reserves,
yes,
etc. But it was 18 years, and 18 years is a long time for one party to rule. And the country said, look, we'll try the JLP now.
GDP was 113.8%.
Yeah, well, the debt to GDP ratio
Yes.
was in that region, correct. Now, JLP came in, there was a global financial crisis. Them couldn't manage that. They ran to the IMF. They signed an agreement with the IMF. The IMF was very generous with them and front-loaded, in other words, put a lot of resources in place up front, but on the basis of certain commitments that the government made to restructure certain things so that, you know, that the economy wouldn't get itself into this problem again that they found themselves in.
Right.
Them couldn't cross it. They abandoned the program. They didn't pass any tests. Jamaica was in the mud in terms of in the international financial community. The Bank of Jamaica had to be advancing money to the government, which it's not supposed to do, to pay bills. And they lost the election in 2011. And there was a whole Ludus business as well and all of that. So we inherited a situation where the debt of the country had gone up to 147% of GDP, where the IMF program had collapsed. Jamaica had no access to international credit. It was a crisis. We were on the precipice of going over into a very difficult time where, you know, God knows what would have happened if we hadn't pulled it together. And the beauty of it was Portia Simpson Miller, as Prime Minister, was somebody who the people of Jamaica felt had their best interests at heart. Yes. And they were prepared to undergo a difficult period of rectification of those problems, fixing those problems with her leadership. Because them say, well, since Andrew Holness did say in 2011 election that it was bitter medicine was coming, then I better them get it from Mama than from him. Right?
Yeah, because Mama give medicine easier than Papa.
You don't know. So Peter Phillips, who was a skillful finance minister, managed the situation well, and we were able to pass every test. My role at that time as Minister of Justice was I was in charge of the legislation of the government. I chaired the legislation committee of cabinet.
To restructure all these things that you just spoke to us about, moving out, getting the thing business friendly.
Exactly, and getting the tax system functioning right, so you had revenues to manage the debt problem.
So hold on, opposition leader.
Yeah.
This the old tax system was fixed then.
Yeah.
And you was in charge of that.
Absolutely.
That's why the government now can collect so much revenue.
It has been a tremendous success. What happened? We restructured the tax system. We eliminated all the million of different types of incentives, created one, what we call omnibus tax incentive that any business can get. The employer tax credit, which means if you employ people and you pay your statutories, you get that as a credit against your income tax within certain limits. We also incentivized, we gave the tax deductions for investment in research and development, which hadn't been possible before. We introduced a production incentive where people can import production inputs that you can't buy here and you need to import without paying duty. So we created the tax environment that now exists. And we also dealt with the whole revenue collection side of things to streamline that. We introduced a new tax software in the tax system to make that more efficient. And let me tell you, the thing has worked tremendously well, because if you look at it without imposing any new tax types, the revenue of the country has grown way ahead of inflation over the period since then. In other words, if you look, and way ahead of economic growth as well.
But why you don't tell people that you do these things and allow Nigel Clark to be claiming glory? You should be getting royalties. Look like we have an internet freeze. We're having a conversation with the leader of opposition and the president of the People's National Party, Mark Jefferson Golden. Obviously, we internet freeze up our way because I don't know. We never see that kind of load ahead, but let's hope that we can get back the comrade leader, because wonderful discussion we are having. And you're hearing it because, you see, we always say it, the GLP don't talk about this period of time. Yes, we lost you when you were telling us about, when I was saying to you why you don't
man, I don't know. Everything was suddenly cut. All right, so I'm back.
Why you don't tell people, say you do these things and allow people to take the credit like them do it?
Well, first of all, I don't really like big up myself them way, that's not me. But
this is
I
politics.
figure that we have journalists and others who can speak the truth and tell the story as it should be told. These are not matters that are not known. These are all in the public domain. But
yes,
I guess you are right that it's something that it's a story that we should tell more.
Of course,
and So by the end of the 4 years that we were in government under Portia Simpson Miller, we had to bear band with belly, so to speak, by running what they call high primary surplus. In other words, we had to save money out of the budget a lot to pay down the debt and get the thing under control because the thing was unsustainable and we were not credit worthy as a country. Right. So we had to build that back. And by the time we left office, it had gone from the 147 to 115% of GDP in 4 years.
Right.
Which was a remarkable thing.
Yeah.
And we put it in the law. So there are things called fiscal rules which I was responsible for developing that legislation along with the technocrats in the Ministry of Finance.
What about EPOC?
EPOC was another construct. That was another thing that was developed at that time by Peter Phillips and others, which was essentially saying, look, the society has to make sacrifice to make this thing work. We have to get ourselves out of the hole. So we have an agency, establish an agency or entity which will monitor how the government is doing and meeting the commitments, because you have agreed to make sacrifices, unions, banking sector, everybody.
Public sector workers.
So the government has to play its part. And its part was delivering all of the things that we had committed to do, much of which was legislation. So that was my role. My role was making sure every deadline for every piece of legislation that we'd agreed to do was met on time. And I had to work hard.
And that's what we call efficiency, because they went through.
Yeah, man, they went through. And we did some other things as well, like the super farm to make, so before then, if you're farming a business or a company, you form the company, you register the business, then you have to go GCT, go register, you have to go NIS, go get a number, you have to go NHT to get a number, you have to go all over the place. It was very inefficient. We created a super farm where you apply, and when you get registered, you get your certificate of incorporation on the back, you get all those numbers. So you don't have no run around thing. And a TCC for the first 6 months. So, that Jamaica's ranking for ease of doing business and for competitiveness improved significantly in those 4 years. So we set the thing, but it was a hard time still because we couldn't spend the money that we would have loved to spend on social investments because the situation was so dire. The country was in such a bad position. That's how we inherited it in 2011. So when the 2016 election happened and then promised the 1.5 thing, which they said they could fund without new taxes, which was a lie, because that imposed over 30 billion of new taxes on the other shot to pay for the 1.5. So that was a lie, but they won the election with a lie.
But they still keep saying, opposition leader, that it happened. They keep saying that they delivered on the 1.5.
They delivered on the 1.5 by making the taxpayer pay for it.
But because I keep saying to people, what they are not telling you is that the 1.5 was promised revenue neutral.
Correct.
And they did not deliver on that part of it, so they will say them deliver the 1.5. But it was not revenue neutral, as you said a while ago. $30 billion on the back of the Jamaican people.
Yeah, a whole raft of taxes were put in place over the first 2 years of their government. Indirect taxes mainly. So it's not in your pay slip if you're an employee, but you're paying it every time you buy anything in a supermarket or any other shop. So it had to be funded. The lie was they said it was already funded. They were going to, through elimination of waste and all kind of foolishness, which they had to fund it by putting taxes on other things to take away the taxes for the 1.5. That's what they did. That's water under the bridge. It was good politics for them.
For win the election.
Yeah, and so be it. So they have been able to build on a platform that they didn't construct. We construct the building. They occupy the building. And then go on like it's them build it, but it's not them build it. And the truth.
What are they doing now to those gains? Because when they came in power, things looked so good that they said that they were going to grow the economy 5% in 4 years.
Yeah.
I remember, I think, a debate in 2020 with yourself and Nigel Clark. It was 2020 when he was asked what happened to 5 in 4 and him gave no, it wasn't 2020. That was 2016.
Man. No, man, 2020.
2020, you debate with him.
Yes.
Right. And him give some pretty argument that never really mean nothing. We are at a stage now, opposition leader, where they are saying that the economy will grow maybe 0.8%, going down to even 0.2%. That for me poses a serious problem to Jamaica. You are looking forward to winning the next election. I want to talk about election here. But you're looking forward to win it. The PNP is poised. Everything is lining up that we are going to win it. We want to talk to you now how you're going to manage this problem. Low growth, low wage, low tech, low income economy, low production. The PNP going to be in trouble again like we were in 2011. Talk to us. How you're going to work that out.
So the situation is different. So where we are now is that the public finances and the debt are no longer in a position of jeopardy then. Things have been sorted out at that level through the successful policies and the pursuit of those policies over a 10-year period. So the debt of 147% of GDP is now around 70% of GDP. It's been cut in half in 10 years, which is a remarkable achievement. Internationally, people say, wow, that's quite something. And Jamaica should feel good about that because that is something that we have done. Many other countries have not been able to do it, but we did. I don't want
you lose your thought, comrade leader, but I must say something. You have said this on a platform.
Break.
And pause. We're going to take about 5 more minutes of this interview when we come back because we want to open the phone lines. A lot of people did not get a chance to really speak on the interview much Saturday morning. So we're just going to make the party leader finish up that thought, and then we're going to open the phone lines and take your calls for the final hour of the program. You're listening to the Colin Bell Show, live on Portland Spice TV and on Styles FM and Caribbean Radio HD. The time is 9 o'clock. We take a break. Soon come back.
Styles FM Radio, Portland's biggest, hottest radio station. Trust me.
Are you need of top quality electrical supplies and tool rentals? Wilson's Building Electrical Supply and Tool Rentals. Our expert team is here to assist you. Monday through Saturdays from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Located conveniently above the library and Main Street, Oak Bay. Give us a call at 658-213-3259 or 876-834-4752. Wilson's Building Electrical Supply and Tool Rentals.
For the best quality in sound reinforcement and backlining, Native Audio. We have professional engineers with over 20 years of experience. So call us and we'll take care of your parties, wedding receptions, barbecues, conferences, and small stage shows. Crystal clear sound, Native Audio. Our prices are the best. Call us at 871-5212. That's 871-5212. Native Audio. We make your events audible.
It is back again. Ramtula's Hardware massive paint sale at 34 Folly Road, Port Antonio, Portland. We stock a wide variety of brands and colors. Get 10 to 15% off. Berger, BH, Diamond, and Sherwin-Williams paints. Open 7 days per week, 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. Call us at 876-715-5132 or 876-715-5134. Come experience the 3 C's: comfort, competitive prices, and convenience. It's Ramtula's Hardware massive paint sale from November 5 to December 31st. Looking for a pharmacy that cares about your health? Look no further. Margins Pharmacy, where your health is our business. Open Monday through Saturdays from 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. All major health, debit, and credit cards accepted for your convenience. Enjoy discounts on all cash prescriptions. Visit us at 8 to 10 Rosemary Avenue, Shop 123, Paul Bogle Place, Morant Bay, St. Thomas. Reach us at 703-6335 or email marjansrx@hotmail.com. Marjans Pharmacy, your health, our business. We are here for you.
Styles FM's hottest radio station.
Styles FM.
The world listens.
Let's go, Jacko, right away. We're not delay because really we're pushing for time. So the opposition leader and president of the People's National Party was telling you about the economic situation. And we need to bring back Ralston because we need to take some people to school. Although some people head tough, we want to teach them what is happening in the Jamaican economy, because Mark Golden said that it is not at the state that it was in 2011 when the PNP took government. At that time, the debt to GDP was at 147%. At that time, we were kicked out of the multilaterals. The IMF wouldn't talk to us. World Bank wouldn't lend us any money. So that was crash, mash up. The economy was crashed that time. This time, the economy is crashing. It is happening. It not crash yet. It is in the process. So, me finish with that thought from the opposition leader. I see labor rights plastering it everywhere. And I said to myself, wonderful. My leader is honest. Mm-hmm. My leader speaks the truth. If that is happening, it is happening. Yeah. And I think that shows the difference between you, who are able to say this is good, and those people who can't find nothing good on the other side.
Yeah, well, I suppose that's because, as you said, I didn't come to this politics early in my career, and politics is not all I know. You know, I was part of other things before I came, and I came here to serve Jamaica. You know, and where Jamaica has achieved something good, and both sides have contributed. I'm not going to say otherwise.
I want to applaud you for doing that, comrade leader, and I want to big you up and continue to be honest, truthful, and forthright. Big you up for that.
Enough respect.
Talk to me.
Give thanks. So, where we are now is that side of things is running well, and will continue, I believe, to run well because the fiscal rules are in our law. And I don't think any government is going to abandon them, because the sacrifices that both sides have incurred in order to get us where we are seen as a national achievement, not just here in Jamaica, but the world sees it as an achievement for us. But it is not sufficient. It is not going to put food on people's table. It is not going to stop the brain drain. Jamaica has the second highest rate of migration of professionals in the world, of people who have skills in the world. It is not going to give the youth them on the corner who leave school with no subjects and want to be somebody. They want girl. They want to drive something. They want ultimately own a house, etc. It's not going to stop them from looking at other things, because there's nothing lawful that them can do and achieve anything. So what? Them gone down the wrong path. And that create a whole heap of other problems for the society as a whole. So this thing is not working as it should work. So I have to make it work. So how are we going to make it work? I believe, first of all, there's more fiscal space now than there was 10 years ago. Chalk to cheese. So the resources that each ministry has available to it now is significantly greater than it was 10 years ago because of the success of that debt reduction program. That is what that has done for Jamaica. So it's a question of, all right, how do you prioritize the available resources and what do you spend it on?
All right. The rest of the interview is on Portland Spice TV on YouTube. So you just type in PORTLAND SPICE TV and you will see it. The entire interview is there. We have gone about halfway in the interview. There's so much more. But we want to give our listeners and our viewers a chance to talk to us tonight. 804-7072. You can call on WhatsApp or you can call straight. 453-1444 at Styles FM. You can call us on the Styles number and talk to it. We want to talk about anything you want to talk about. Politics. Sunday night was epic. Sunday night, the river overflowed its banks in Port Antonio Town Square. And I heard some people saying it's an imported crowd. No. It is a Portland crowd, but understand this. A lot of our MP candidates journeyed to Port Antonio to show support. And no man now come to Port Antonio alone. So a man carry a carload or two carload of people with them. I would say that we had about 300 people from outside of the parish. And maybe about 500 from outside the constituency. Because a lot of people from West Portland was here as well. I estimate the crowd to be about 7,000. And I'll tell you that no less than 6,500 out of that was from Eastern Portland. Now let me just say this to the comrades. 6,500 can't win the election. And I didn't talk in terms of putting a speech out there Sunday night. Because being the former candidate, I don't want to get the thing twisted or anybody get the thing twisted that me are still the candidate or me I talk like the candidate. So I stayed away from putting a speech out and we just juggle some tune and show with skill because Shaka Fame is multi-talented. There's no politician in Jamaica in my class when it comes to entertainment. One of a kind. No other politician in my class, not Jamaica. So we go out there and we spin to tune. You know, and we said to the people that what you need to do is make sure that all who was out there Sunday night find some people to carry to the polling station on election day and take home the victory for the People's National Party. Isaac Buchanan as the candidate for East Portland, Mark Golden as Prime Minister. That's what we are saying. And as I've been saying on this program, that we have the capacity to fall in line. We have the capacity to comply and then complain. That's what my training teach me. Yeah? And we like to see people strive. We don't fight against people. We don't do that no time. Our thing is about seeing people achieving their best. Hold the line for me, caller. Good evening. Our thing is about seeing people achieving their best. I'm going to tell you something about me. I play a sound from me at 13, Mafia 5, out of Shrewsbury. So I grew up wanting to see other people have things, other people have money. Because when other people have money, me have money. But you have some people don't want to see other people have money. They don't want to see nobody better than them. Not even them own picnic. Because if you don't want to see a next man picnic grow, then you don't want to see your picnic grow. And that's why I said to the people, all who believe in themselves, put up on a hand. And some people never put up them hand because them not believe in themselves. Because if you believe in yourself, then you will be able to believe in me. It's like about, if you don't love yourself, you won't be able to love me. And God Almighty, Jesus Christ say, how can you love me who you have not seen, but you can't love your neighbor who you see? And that's why the Bible says you must love your neighbors as yourself. So me want to see people strive. So I am going to do everything in my powers to see Isaac Buchanan become the MP. Because let me tell you something, Portland have had some baby MP. Soft like porridge. Yeah? Politics is not about soft. And I want to send condolence to the family and friends of the late Member of Parliament, Dr. Linville Bloomfield. He was a gentle giant. But with what is going on in East Portland, you need radical, like a Shaka Fame, like a Isaac Buchanan. And that's why the Almighty say, If you don't never want Shaka fame, me have a next radical for you know, Isaac Buchanan. I see a lot of me in a Isaac. Yeah, radical. I go fight for the people of East Portland, and I will be right by his side. Welcome to the show, my brother.
Hi, Mr. Bell. How you doing? Chris.
I'm good enough, Chris, man. One love, man. Bless up.
Boy, I was in South Africa for 2 weeks, and I still tune in and taking what was going on.
Hold on, I want to big up Clifford from out of Australia watching the program.
Yeah, man, you're all over the place.
Yes,
and every chance I get, I just send it out, to everybody I know.
Respect, man.
Anything you put out there, because you have a talent. You're a great interviewer. You get to the point. I just love how you approach the whole thing.
I'm going to have an interview, Chris. I'm going to have an interview for you next week, Tuesday night. Oh, can I tell you?
Yeah, man.
I have a guest lineup next week, Tuesday night. You are going to be impressed. Guaranteed.
And I've been really impressed so far. So you must be coming in with somebody, because, boy, I tell you, after Ralston and of course, Mark Golden, one thing I wanted to ask him the other night is how can the people in the diaspora support financially the PMP, like donating to the party, and politics is, you need money to run a revolution.
Definitely. Well, tell you what, I know there are ways you can, but I'm going to find them out and we're going to make them available here as well.
Yes, I think that's something they need to do, because people here is willing to donate.
But Chris, I must tell you, Chris, that this program is a paid program. We are on radio in Jamaica right now, Styles FM. We're broadcasting across about 7 parishes. And it's a paid program, so we also want support for the show. We have a GoFundMe page. It is called East Portland Rescue Mission. So, yeah.
Yeah, because, I do a lot behind the scenes with all of them guys, all of the bloggers, them that I support, financially and in other ways.
Bless up.
But one of the things I wanted to, for years I kind of looked on. And I was wondering, why haven't the government closed the loop in agriculture with the tourism product? Because to me, it should be that you cannot get to bring in stuff unless you exhaust the local stuff first. Give them the first bite at the apple before you. And that build up the entire society. I've just never understood why is it, and I don't know what they negotiate when they give out these licenses for these people to come and build hotels. But as I said, I think I sent you an article with the Prime Minister Antigua that turned down a license from Sandals, because they said, listen, we have local taxi people here. You can't get everything. Leave something for the local people. We have craft vendors in Ochias and Montego Bay and Portland that, them see the ships out in the harbor and them hungry because everybody take everything, and yet still is the culture that we sell it. And then these people who have access to it, other people monopolize it and take everything for themselves.
Let me say something to you.
I have a society.
Let me say something to you. This government has not shown by its action of its interest or belief in the possibility of agriculture. It has also not shown its interest and belief in our culture. And I saw a clip with Buju Banton speaking with Babsy Grange and outlining some of the things that we need in the cultural industry. But agriculture, Chris, I have never heard the finance minister in any of his presentation really speak to agriculture. And if the man who is handling the purse don't speak to agriculture, it means our farmers will not get the kind of assistance. Because let me tell you something, and you travel a lot. In first world country, in the developed countries, they invest in agriculture. They subsidize their farmers to ensure that their farmers can sustain that food supply, talking about food security. And I saw the government the other day, and I'm saying this without even expecting some contradiction, that the government threw away $11 billion. That $11 billion that they are boasting that they are giving back as a tax give back was wasted. I made a suggestion on Simon Kraskill program on Power 106 that what the government should have done with that $11 billion is give it as a loan, a cheap loan to people who are interested in agriculture. A man who right now who farm, let's say 2,000 fishes, bring him up to be able to farm, to produce 200,000 fishes. Give him the loan at maybe 2% or 3% with a long time to pay back. People who want to go into those cash crop who need greenhouse and those kind of things. Had the government invested that $11 billion in agriculture, we would see the return. What the government did was give the $11 billion to go buy foreign food.
Well, Mr. Bell, you and I know that the people who they are interested to serve is not the poor. Their friends who can drop a container of onion on the wharf, who go and wipe out 20 or 30 or 40 farmers with that one container of onion. They have no interest in those small farmers. They pay lip service to it, but by their works, you know what where their interest is.
But you know what is sad,
I remember when Mark Golding took on Clark in the parliament and made the point that why are you lifting the duties on these products when the WTO, the part that even deal with that, is not even functioning. So we know it's a lie. We know these people tell these lies about why they do the things they do because they have the interest of certain people at heart. They don't care about the small farmers. We know that.
But Chris, it is penny wise and pound foolish. And we speak about COVID-19, but we have not learned anything from COVID. Because the first thing we should have learned from COVID, and I said this to people, if you go back and look at my Facebook page, Colin Anthony at Facebook, or the Granny Nanny Facebook page, on the 14th of April, 2020, I made a post. I said the government of Jamaica should now invest $1.5 billion in agriculture so as to strengthen our food security when we get out of COVID. Nothing like that was done. I mean, people could have gone to their farms in the lockdown, but go farm what? What kind of support was there for them? So we missed an opportunity back then, and we did not learn from the fact that shipping went down. The cost to rent a container went up from $2,000 to $20,000. And these are things that will happen again.
Listen, Colin, I think you're a very generous person. You're a very generous person by your spirit. But let me call it like how it is. These people have no interest in serving small farmers. These guys believe in propping up the oligarchs. And that's how certain society run. It don't make any sense. As I said, when I stand here and I see, I don't understand how they don't integrate the whole farming thing into the tourism thing and extract the most money. Most of the tourist dollars do not come to Jamaica. The small amount of money that comes to Jamaica is to pay salaries and taxes and stuff like that.
I think about a third of it stays in Jamaica. 2/3 goes away and we keep a third.
Yes. So if you can have farming come in and get more money out of that product, why won't you do it? It's just, I do not understand what drives them, and I do understand what drives them because they have very narrow interests. The people who line them pocket and get them money for campaign and so forth, those are the people that they look, those are the interests that they protect. They do not have any interest in the small farmers. They don't.
You see, the things the things that can grow this economy, Chris, this government is not doing. The culture and the creative industry, we call it the orange economy, that can turn around our low growth rate, and we're not investing in it. Agriculture can ease off the pressure on the dollar because for the first 6 months of this year, we have imported almost $1 billion worth of food in a brother. $1 billion. So it looked like the
Colin,
food bill this year going to 2
you
billion.
always talk about the orange. You always talk about the orange economy, but you have a guy like Colin Smith, who is a natural born leader and have cultivate the youth and so forth. But that guy can be a movie director. He can develop into because he has the natural ability to get into film and stuff like that. We should have almost the same thing like the Nigerians and the Ghanaians them have, which is
but let me tell you something, Chris.
People to grow.
Let me tell you something, Chris. In my research shows me that in 2022, Nigeria made $50 billion from the culture and the creative industry. You know how much Jamaica make? 2.2 billion.
Yeah.
No, mark you.
Yeah.
Mark you. Nigeria is a much bigger country. But I'll tell you that Jamaican culture
but we are
is
more dynamic.
Well, that's what I tell you. Jamaican culture is more craved around the world. And we are not doing anything about it. In the interview I did with the party leader, I basically opened up a little more and told him that Jamaica must invest heavily in film. And people said to me that, Shaka, you talk your plans them too much. But people will take them. And I say, I don't care who want to take them. Film is one of the things that if we don't start getting into film, we are going to miss out on the money, because that is where the money is. Film is how you package culture for export.
Yeah.
So there's more to it than just film. So those who are worrying that I talk too much of my plans and my ideas, yes, you have to talk it so people know that you have it. Because if people don't know, say you have it, then we think you're a mongrel. You understand?
Yeah.
And then when they hear other people with your idea, them realize say you're pedigree. You understand what I'm saying? So I am saying to you, Chris, and to the Jamaican people and to the world.
Talk it into existence. You have to talk it. You have to make people, the youth them out there, they just need a leadership. They need people to believe in them and support them, and they'll do the rest.
Jamaica.
But I'm gonna get off so somebody else can call it.
Big up yourself, Chris. Thanks
great
for the call.
talking to you.
Yes, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Blessings, my brother. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show on Styles FM, Caribbean Radio, and Portland Spice TV. Hold on there, Edward. Let me just finish that thought. Let me just say to the world. Film is how you package culture in an entertainment style for export. I'm not telling about the vehicle that should be used to export it. So it's a whole lot more to it. So when I tell you that the culture and the creative industry can bring this country $30 billion annually, most Jamaicans don't understand it. They don't know how to do it. We know how to do it. And we are putting it on the table of the People's National Party. Let me just tell you one more thing before we go to school, boy. Those of you and a lot of people in East Portland understand when a movie comes to East Portland, what it does to the economy. Just imagine Jamaica doing an average of 6 production, because they are not all going to be movie. You have short films, you have movies, you have soap operas, you have series that will happen. Just imagine 6 production per month happening in Jamaica. You talk about 60 for the year, and that's a small amount. Welcome to the program, schoolboy.
Hey, brother Colin Bell, how are you, brother?
What they here I teach the people them.
Absolutely. And I want to just join in saying that, this is something that I've heard you've been saying for a while, right? And to further buttress your point, in 2020, the Nevis Island Administration, that is a tiny little island called St. Kitts and Nevis.
Yes.
Nevis Island Administration signed a deal with a movie company called MSR Media. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
MSR Media is responsible for something called, they do a film called Below the Deck. Yeah?
Okay.
And I'm sure some of us have seen Below the Deck. Yeah? They got an agreement with them. It's mostly streamed on Amazon Prime. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
They know it's mostly to the American market more than anything else.
Right.
And Do you know that they signed a deal with them for I think roughly 6 to 20 movies, if I'm not sure, but I think 7 was filmed on Nevis and the others were filmed on St. Kitts.
Mhm.
You are right. Do you know it was done during the time of COVID? Yes?
Yes.
Right in the period of COVID. Do you know that simple 6 to 20 movies that was done employed around 400, 500 people?
But hold on, brother. The Bob Marley One Love movie employed over
Mhm.
2,000 people directly. Now, when those movies are being filmed, the people who are employed directly to the production also employ other people, because the fact that you gonna work, let's say 30,000 a day, you know might employ a babysitter where you can pay 5,000 a day.
Exactly.
The
And so
jobs-
those are what we call the economic spin-offs.
Talk to me.
Such as the ability to even the hoteliers, the sugar cake man, well we call it sugar cane man, the cane juice man, the different, so you know it has an economic spin-off which is huge.
But let me show you something else, old boy. The Bob Marley biopic, the James Bond No Time to Die. Between those two movies that were filmed, none of them really filmed 100% in Jamaica. Those two movies have earned over $300 million in a brother.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying, just watch this Jamaican. Imagine 60 movie been filmed in Jamaica for the year, big production. What that would do to the economy. And it's not just that. That's just a part of it. Jamaica, we are too talented not to be making 1% of the value of the global economy of the creative industry. Right now, I used to tell you about $3 trillion, head boy. Right now, my last research a couple of weeks ago said that we are at $3.4 trillion annually, employing 51 million persons on the global stage. And hold on, 21 million persons employed in the creative industry are between the ages of 16 and 21.
No.
Right
that is where I
now,
wanted to stop.
31 million are younger than 35.
Do you understand the importance of the engagement of our young people, our disenchanted youth, our youth, unattached youth? Remember, when they started the digital animation thing, and I must commend Portia Simpson Miller when she was Prime Minister. The first real introduction of digital animation in Jamaica came under Portia Simpson Miller when she was Prime Minister. And they were pushing the digital animation, even simple thing like digital animation, where digital animation now, because a lot of those things are the young people are actively engaged in them. When I look at places like even in St. Lucia now is developing a big digital animation industry.
Listen, man.
Yeah. So I'm saying
Jamaica,
we need to get with the times. We need to get with the times. The boat is passing us, and what we are catching is the little dinghy, as they call it. It's a little small boat. The water run against it again. Yeah?
Listen, man, we should have stepped into this thing long time. From Jimmy Cliff to the other day come. We should have realized that our culture is craved around the world. People come to Jamaica for the culture, brother. And at the same time, the culture not get no respect.
But I want to tell you this. Do you understand that, for example, movies like you have just mentioned, Jimmy Cliff, the harder they come, Gangster's Paradise, right? All of them, Third World Cup, right? When I go throughout the region, these guys in the region, they can tell you word for word what is said in the movies, and they can compare, and they love Jamaican culture. So I'm saying to us, it is now time for us to get serious with this. But I am convinced that we have a party leader in Mark Golding and a future Prime Minister in waiting who understands how important this is. But the epicenter of that culture and that movie industry will be the Eastern Belt, because the Eastern Belt historically has had a strong history of doing that. So, for example, places like Oracabessa in Western St. Mary,
Yes.
places like Navy Island in East Portland,
Yes.
places like James Bond Beach, places like round Europe side, around Mansion Hill,
Listen
places
to
up
me,
in Fellowship,
brother.
up with more town.
Jamaica
Yeah,
is scenic, you know. Jamaica design. All right, let me tell you one more thing, and I've been saying it.
Uh-huh.
The war between the Maroons and the English. Why
Yes.
is that not on film yet? We're wasting
Brother,
the resources that we have in this country.
Yes,
And
that should
let me
be
say this,
something that
schoolboy,
should
let
be
me
the
say
first
this.
film we put to market.
Let me say this. There's no other industry right now that can turn around this economy faster than the orange economy, the culture and the creative industry. Within 5 years, you can start earning 15 billion of the 30 billion that I talk about. It's not something
Absolutely.
that you have to take no long time. It needs 2 years to be implemented. The plan that I have for Jamaica needs 2 years to be implemented. The government should spend 30 billion Jamaican dollars over that 3 years.
Yes.
30 billion. You need 20 billion within the first 18 months. And the thing about the plan that I have, schoolboy, is that within that 18 months, you start earning from it as well. So this is not money that you're going to throw away. This is an investment in our culture and our creatives to get it out there and to start earning. I tell you, Mexico right here, so is earning 15 billion US annually from the culture and the creative industry. Mexico.
Yeah, but don't you see when you go on Netflix, right?
Yes.
Most of the shows now on Netflix, and I know you know I'm talking. Most of those shows, they're actually is coming out of Mexico.
They're not, but schoolboy, me not talk nothing when not happening around the world, you know.
No, teacher, I know you know your stuff, right? I know you know your stuff. And I'm saying that we need to look at this in a serious way.
Latin
right?
America and the Caribbean. Latin
Yes,
America and the Caribbean, Mexico is making the most of the money. But let me remind you, schoolboy, that the United States, right? Yes, so where we go every minute, they are making $700 billion.
Billion. Yes.
$700 billion from the culture and the creative industry.
And New York, and what is New York amount? Because I remember you have said it before. New York is making what? Somewhere around 80 billion annually?
New York and Los Angeles. They make the money. Hollywood.
Yeah.
Nollywood and where the next one named Follywood? India.
Right. No.
India is making 115 billion US dollars annually.
But billion. Yeah.
But so let me tell you something. Nigel Clark did a catch on something, you know. He must spend $1 billion over 3 years in the film industry. But Nigel don't them hear something, them a listen to it, but them afraid to pick up the phone and call and say, Shaka, tell me what you really are talking about. Because the problem is, my brother, they don't understand it.
But not only that, and that is one of the things that is surprising to me. You know why is it surprising to me?
Talk to me.
You have men, you have men like the Enzels who were a part of the Harder They Come. We're still alive, by the way. Yeah, the family members are still alive who are part of that, right? Justin Enzels and others who were a part of that industry. You have Chris Blackwell, others who are part of the industry.
But let me tell you something.
Let me finish what I'm going to say, because this is where I'm heading to. The reason why these guys don't like the film industry, right? If them is not the one that have the money, and I'm not imputing any motives to anyone, so nobody going to think that I'm imputing any motives. if they're not the originators of ideas, they are intimidated. Remember, the JLP is intimidated by bright people. It's them, so you know. Yeah. Two. They're also a disrespect. They have never viewed the Jamaican culture. A lot of these guys have never viewed the Jamaican culture as anything. No, they're not just culture. Them that make nice. Them that waste them time on YouTube or them and do video. I look in the very Portland, right? A young man by the name of Drizzy Burke, who I always give credit, right? A man like Barda Cat from up in your division. Yeah? Right? These simple guys, I see some simple, low-hanging fruits, right? And which minister has ever walked and gone into East Portland and said, let me look at these young men and give them the support necessary. Because let me tell you, Barda Cat and Drizzy Burke, they're watch across the region, across
But
the
look here,
world.
let me tell you something. They don't know what to do because there's a simple ingredient that if you're going to get into film that is needed. And a lot of them don't know that. It's like if you cook the pot and you don't put like a salt in it, the food will go fresh. They don't know what the salt is. So even with movies like The Harder They Come, those movies never really achieve them full potential.
Right.
Yeah? The Bob Marley biopic was done by a overseas production company. So them know what to do and know what the roads are. Because after the Bob Marley biopic make $170 million, then you start seating flights.
Yeah.
Then you start seating other places. So,
but
the truth of the matter is, Ed Boy, is that if the culture and the creative industry is developed, it is the average man in the street that go and make the money. You see, like how are the average man in the street on DJ and singer and make some money out of it?
Yes.
That is the culture and the creative industry. So if you expand it, it's more regular people going to have money. So,
and you know, there are some people in Jamaica who are intimidated by that. Like when somebody said
Dr. Iman Black, my brethren, Dr. Iman Black, say it all the while that Shaka, they're not going to allow it to happen because too many of us going to start to have money.
And not only that, too many of us will start to become their neighbors. Remember, there was a woman who tell Usain Bolt, you know, that he make too much noise up her yard.
Hold on there. We never take the break, you know, Jacko. You love the discussion. We need to take a break. We could take a break. Forgot to with the on radio. You take us straight YouTube with the pan. We are on radio. We are on Styles FM 96.1, 96.5, 96.7. Those are all on your FM band. We are on Caribbean HD. Take the break and come back, Jacko.
This is Styles FM.
Good day, driver. You notice that you're parking in a no parking zone. You know, so you can get a ticket for this, sir.
Really, officer? We just want to pick up some hardware supplies, you know. Do me a beg you. Give me a blind, you know.
So if you need hardware supplies, why you don't go to Ramtula Super Center and hardware?
Ramtula Super Center and Hardware, 34 Folly Road, Port Antonio, Portland. We stock a wide range of products at the best prices in town. At Ramtula's Hardware, experience the 3 C's: comfort, competitive prices, and convenience. Ramtula Super Center and Hardware opens 8 a.m. to midnight, 7 days per week. Call 715-5132. Email ramtulasupercenter@gmail.com. Remember, we have the best prices in town.
No, man. The highway toll them high. Imagine me go out here have to pay 2 ways. I can't manage that at all. And then have to buy gas on top of it? No, sir. That's why I just park my car and take the Knutsford. It saves me some money and I can just relax and enjoy the ride. You know that makes sense? Of course. And guess what too? If you buy a ticket online, you will get it even cheaper. Go online at knutsfordexpress.com.
Knutsford Express, moving what matters.
Are you ready for the time of your life?
It's dynamic, it's romantic, it's soothing on the Caravan of Love with Chungy every Wednesday 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. only on Styles FM.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Now this This is excitement galore. Styles FM is now upgrading its app for your listening pleasure. Android users, please switch to Styles FM Jamaica app on your Play Store. And iPhone users, all you got to do is go to your app store and upgrade your Styles FM radio app. We got new look, new features, and more to choose from. It's easy to use. No subscription required. Styles FM, the world listens.
Styles FM's hottest radio station.
Styles FM.
The world listens.
Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. No more backward thinking. Time to move on. Right, let's go straight tonight, Jacko. We have Ed Boy up on the phone, same way. 804-7072. We take your calls tonight. Ed Boy, is the next week Tuesday night?
Yes.
We have a guest that the world wants to hear from. Remember me tell you. We deliver next week Tuesday night. A guest the world wants to hear from. May I tell you? It is going to be a teaching moment. Yeah, man.
I can't wait for you to announce who that guest is. Because,
Yeah, man.
You know. But quickly, because I know you'll have to take another call, teacher.
Yeah.
But I cannot call you and not talk the politics.
Talk to me.
Yeah. I sat in the comfort of my living room in St. Kitts on Sunday.
Yes.
And I watched in awe when I looked at the beautiful town of Port Antonio.
Oh,
and
yes.
all I could see was a sea of orange.
Oh, yes.
And I said to my wife, you see how the orange look good? Because and I was really, really impressed. And I want to say to the people of East Portland, I've always said publicly that whomever is in East Portland representing the People's National Party, they have my support.
Yes.
Right? And we must commend you because it takes a big man to say, look here, I am going to step aside and work for the greater good of the country and the party. And that's a real big man. Yeah?
I don't have
And
a
I must
selfish
commend
bone
you
in
for
my body, brother.
No, man. No.
I
Me
love
are the
people.
same way.
I love people.
Me are the same way.
Yeah,
So
man.
I want to commend you for that. But I want to say I am even equally impressed because I just spoke to two friends that were on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And them tell me that nobody no bust nobody into East Portland Sunday like that. The man say, I'm telling you straight up, the man say how we get to the meeting is a friend of him. He called in Portland and he was over in Southeast St. Mary. Right? Him said no bus no left Southeast St. Mary.
Let me tell you what happened. And I explained it earlier. A lot of the 63 candidates were here. Some man have forward him car, some people in him car. Yeah,
Right.
because
That's
Portland is the
exactly.
place people want to come to Portland. So I estimated the crowd at about 7,000. And I am saying maybe about 300 to 500 out of that came into the parish. Not more. And I don't think it reached 500.
No.
So it was
not
an
that
East Portland crowd. Not even just a Portland crowd. An East Portland crowd because some people came from West, but they weren't bussed up by the candidate from West or by us.
They came on their own doing.
The
But all I'm saying, I have never witnessed, because I remember when Linval Bloomfield was MP, when he was campaigning in 2016, right? Well, sorry, not 2016 was the last one, a little bit before when there were internal issues.
Yeah.
I remember when he was campaigning, and I have never seen a meeting. I can't remember. I don't know if you can remind me. I've seen a meeting so massive in Port Antonio town before.
Maybe. Well, Crawford meeting was not so big. I don't think it was as big as that, but that was big.
It was not. I was up in rural in Manchin Hill working during that election. So I can tell you.
It wasn't big as this. I think the crowd we had at the by-election was maybe about 4,000 or 5,000. But this was about 7,000 or more.
So a friend of mine pinched me as I go and told me, he said, boy, almost broke the vase cracked. I said, well, that is good enough. Because if you know nothing about ornament or friggery, once it cracked,
it done. It done.
I gonna let you later.
Bless up, my brother. One love.
All the best, brother.
Yeah,
One
man.
love.
You see, let me tell you something. The GLP, they are running scared right now. So them a try and make a whole political argument to say we bossing people. We boss nobody into East Portland. Anybody where we boss is from Rio Grande Valley and from Manchanil and from Fairy Hill and from Upper Reach and Nonsuch and Snow Hill. We took nobody from outside of the parish. And as I explained to you, most of the candidates were in East Portland, come to give us their support. And we want to thank them. All of Region 2, every constituency in Region 2. Region 2 is St. Thomas, Portland, and St. Mary. All constituency representatives were present. And I want to big them up and thank them for their support. And we just want to say, Rosemary Shaw, we are coming down there. You know, see we yet? I was down there nomination day, but Comrade Buchanan will be making his way down to Eastern St. Thomas. Not telling you when, but it's very soon. We're coming down there to give our support and to ensure that Rosemary Shaw become the councillor for the Morant Bay Division on the 21st. Is the 21st? 21st of November. Yes, man. Serious times. But I want to say to the young people, show your weight behind the PNP. It is your only hope right now. Your only hope. We are going to ensure that the culture and the creative industry take off and achieve its true potential. I am going to be fighting for that, despite of what some people might think. Yeah. Been reading Matthew 6? That Jesus came into his hometown and he started teaching the people in the synagogue. And when he started to teach them, the men were saying, where did this man get this knowledge from? Isn't he Mary's son? Just like myself. When I started talking about the vision for East Portland, some people, and I want to make it clear that it's some, because most of East Portland believed and bought in. But the few doubters, they were saying, where this man get this knowledge from? And some of them went as far as say, a foolishness may attack. Well, deep and wide. So, the scripture say, when they start ask question about Jesus, isn't this Mary's son, the son of Joseph, and isn't his sisters and whatever? You know what Jesus said? A prophet is not without honor, but in his own town and in his own home. So we understand, because our journey is powered by the blood of Jesus Christ. And we believe and depend upon his guidance. We ask that he lead our steps all the way. And that's why we can stand up and say, all right, here we are. We are support Isaac Buchanan, because me telling you all the while, it is not about me. It is about the people. It is about the upliftment of my community, the upliftment of my parish, of my country. Yeah, man. And I will always do whatever I can for the upliftment of this country. We have the next 10 minutes to go. 804-7072. That's the number to call if you want to talk to us. Saturday morning, we are going to be live right here on Portland Spice TV. And we're going to have a guest Saturday morning. We don't confirm the guest for Saturday morning yet, because we have two champions that we're wavering between. But I can tell you that next week, Tuesday night, oh yes, Revelation, next week, Tuesday night. The truth shall be revealed next week, Tuesday night, right here on Styles FM and on Caribbean Radio. Last week when I tell you that Saturday morning, we're going to have a big show. People that wonder who want to try guess and spell. And we brought out the giant, Mark Jefferson Golden. People still are talk about it. The vloggers, they got a lot of content from it. But you see this one here next week, Tuesday night, Jacko. Remember me tell you. Remember me tell you. Next week, Tuesday night. Revelation on Styles FM. Because this is the digital age. And all analog politicians have to go down. All analog politicians. I listened to the Prime Minister in the Parliament and I was flabbergasted when I heard the Prime Minister said that they are now building resilient road. They are taking the road off the coastline. How many times have I told you that the road that was scheduled from Harborview to Port Antonio was to do just that? When Ardley Shaw said it doesn't make economic sense to build a new road from Harborview to Port Antonio, this same Prime Minister agreed and took the road that was left for us. They are now bragging about the Southern Coastal Highway. Is Portia Simpson Miller find the money? The contract was signed in 2015. Prime Minister, is not your road. In fact, you downgrade the road. And when I hear you now talking about building resilient road to climate change, I say to myself, what a wicked man. What a wicked man. The guests will come on at 8:30. The guests will come on at 8:30 p.m. We start every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. And I guess we are in most of the states now on the same time. So we start at 8 p.m. We do our preamble and we're going to bring in the guests at 8:30. And I can tell you, bring book and pen or put your thing on record. Well, you know, it's the digital age, so you don't have to record it because it remains on YouTube. But it's a program that you don't want to miss. If you believe in the truth and have interests in this company called Jamaica, you are going to want to listen to that show. Because lying lips is abomination. And I also don't believe that you should steal nobody's roses. People must be given their due respect when they have toiled. Yeah, man. And when we put in the work, what you say? On a road that them build. No, it's not a road because you see, that road from Harborview coming in, we lobbied hard to get the PNP to do that road. We lobbied. And the most honorable Portia Simpson Miller said, all right, she will fix the road because the PNP intention was to ring the island, you know. Those highways, Highway 2000, North Coast Highway. And Mr. Prime Minister, when you talk about how much road you fix, from Negril to Port Antonio, sir, is the best piece of road that built at Jamaica. May I tell you, the best piece of road ever built in Jamaica is that road from Negril to Port Antonio, built by the People's National Party administration. And the road was to continue. But when Portia decided that she was going to do the road and all the due diligence was done, the engineers went back to her and they said to her, to do the existing alignment doesn't make sense. The existing alignment is on the coast, and because of climate change, it going to mash up Places like White Horses, out of them place there. Places like Manchaniel, places like Bowden, places like Port Morant would be problem. Places like Hardley Crossing would be problem. Long Bay would be problem. And you come in a power, you are Hardley Shaw, and say it don't make economic sense. And every time I mention this, I tip me hat to James Robertson, because as a GLP MP came out openly against the government and said he want the original plan. He wanted the original plan to build that new road that Morant Bay could be expanded in the hills. And when I hear the Prime Minister today talking about taking the roads off the coast, I say, look for you too. Angela Brownberg asking about never see can't see. But my people, we are living in serious time. And Ralston Hyman is due, you know. We due a discussion with Ralston Hyman. And when we bring on Ralston Hyman, I want DP to sit down at the front of the class, brother. And you need to sit down with an open mind because you don't understand the economics. So if you don't understand what we are taught, just relax and listen. And when you're here, go do some research. Me know you're good like that. You're a digital youth. You're not analog. But do some research before you talk, brother. Because sometimes you talk, Lord, man. It's hard. Don't make politics blind you. Like I said to some of my friends, don't make hate blind you. Open your mind. When I tell you if you switch, everybody can be PNP. But the truth must be paramount when you speak. The truth must be paramount when you speak. And that's why I'm a big up Mark Golden. Him said the fiscal discipline has been maintained by this government. They did not put that in place. It was Peter Phillips, Portia Simpson Miller, and Mark Golden who wrote the script, who implement the laws to ensure that fiscal discipline is maintained in this country. So this administration, this Andrew Holness administration, never had a choice. But because the road was paved and set, they did one thing extra by paying down the debt faster to the detriment of the infrastructure of this country. So in the 13 years out of the 17 that they've been in power, they never paid attention to our roads. 9 consistent years this government is in power, and they want to blame the PNP of the 90s for the road situation. You did not maintain the road in that time, brother. But when a government of 2 terms start blaming the opposition for their shortcoming, what they are saying to the people of Jamaica, at them man have to run the country now. Because they start handing over the responsibility already. They start handing over the responsibility to the opposition. So they are simply saying that are the opposition for run the country. What go on, partner?
Oh, yes, I'm a general.
My there, you know, man, big up yourself. What is going on?
Good show, good interview on Saturday. Everything, my brother.
Talk to me.
But when I say, from what they want to talk to you about DP, you know. I know say DP are your friend. Everything.
I'm a growing man, I'm a youth.
Every time DP come on with what wrong with the car. But he can't tell us say, we can do this to make the car drive.
No, but
that can't tell a problem.
That's a GLP issue. You know? GLP have no solution. Anybody can diagnose the problem, but it's who can fix it.
Yeah, but you understand me? I say, DP saying come from Portland. DP if you try come up with an idea how to make Portland better. But DP get up from Portland because him now have no solution for Portland and he can't come with none. Him for just chill, man, and wait till him have a solution. Him come to you and say, boy, call him a brethren, make we try this. But he come every day and chop off a branch off of Portland, and it's a Portland now no leaf. No mad man, that man.
Well, me not really want to discuss him like that.
No,
You know?
me not say if it, me not diss him, Because I love when him come on and come with him controversial thing, them where I pick up. Me love listen to that.
But if we come with
when
something
me
that
a
makes
say-
sense.
If you come with something makes sense sometime, man. No, just come and take off and limb them. And then I put no fertilizer on that tree. But yesterday I expect a tree to bear. Or it a go bear if you cut off and limb them.
Well, let me tell you the respect what me have to give him. He's the bravest labor right, because the labor right, them afraid to come on this, you know. Them stay in the chat room and try troll. But them now challenge Shaka Fame. And we tell labor rights every time we invite you to come. Let's have a honest debate about who built Jamaica. Let's have an honest debate about whose policy serves Jamaica well. Let's have an honest debate about a leader with clean hands and pure heart. Let's have an honest debate.
But brother, it's not even about politics and that. You can support whatever party you want to support, brother. But you must come with some solution. And that me like with you, brother. Because I say when APMP party I do something wrong, you lick out against them. And when the other party, you lick out against them. And that me understand, man, to do, You have to talk the truth when the truth dead, brother. Not sit down on it and say, well, boy, because I'm a mother, I'm not going to tell my mother say she wrong. Me no know that, brother.
Talk to
me. I say,
talk to me.
So, brother, continue do your thing.
Blessings.
And as me say, speak the truth. See?
And speak it ever, cause it what it will. You have been listening to the Colin Bell Show live on Styles FM. We do it every Tuesday night from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. We are live on Portland Spice TV at YouTube. We are live on Caribbean Radio HD every Tuesday night. And we are also on Facebook. We said next week, Tuesday night, we have a big guest coming on. And there will be lots of revelation next week, Tuesday night. Saturday morning, we are going to be live right here on Portland Spice TV. And if you're coming to Portland, the place to stay is Seabell Resort in Oak Bay. It's not my place. Now, because it's named Seabell. But it's the place to stay if you're coming to Portland. Seabell Resort. Look them up and book your stay. Once again, thanks for listening. Thanks to Father Jacka in the studio. Thanks to all the people who called in. Thanks to the people in the chat room. May the good Lord continue to bless and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his light and give you his peace. Now and forevermore. Until we meet again Saturday morning. And remember, make it a date. Tuesday, the 19th of November. It is going to be a night to remember. Shaka Fame. Bless up.
Do you have or are you seeking a place to rent, seeking employment or have a job vacancy? Are you selling a car or having a garage sale then?